What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. Hope everybody is well. As a lot of you are aware of the fact, I have been traveling quite a bit over this summer. It's been 3 months of non-stop travel since I left Dubai back in the beginning of June. And I thought I would put this video together because I do get a lot of people asking me how I'm able to maintain my condition whilst I'm traveling and very much out of my usual routine. So I think this will help, no doubt, some of the people that are going away on holiday, whether it be for 1 week or those people that do have a bit of a hectic lifestyle where they are required to be on the move quite a bit. So, no particular order, I'm going to go through the kind of rules which I have applied to myself and which I follow every time I'm on the move. Now, before I go anywhere, the first thing I will do before I book anything is I'll do a little bit of research to find out where the gyms are in the destination which I'll be going to. So I take a bit of time out, go onto Google Maps, do a little bit of research, see which gym, okay, this is the one which I'll most likely be going to, it looks the best. And based on that, I will book my accommodation, whether it be Airbnb or a hotel, as close to that gym as possible. I'm gonna be going there pretty much every single day, so I don't wanna be going somewhere which is like 30, 40 minutes away. Now, when it comes to the training itself, I will almost always try and get it done first thing in the morning. It means it's done, it's out of the way, I can enjoy the rest of the day. And I have noticed in the past, you know, when I'm going to all these places in the middle of summer, it's hot, it's warm, I'm gonna be exposed to the sun. When I try and get a training session in after being in the sun all day, I literally have no energy. I can't concentrate, can't get a pump. It's just not as good. I've been there, I've tried it, it's not great. I know a lot of you guys, when you go traveling on holiday, the later you leave it, the less likely it's gonna get done. Particularly if you're the type of person that is, maybe you're gonna be drinking in the afternoon, or maybe you have to be following the plans of what everybody else is doing. Wake up a little bit earlier, get it done. When it comes to the food itself, it's almost impossible to track. Okay, I haven't tracked my food for a very long time, but I've been in the game for a while now. I can look at a plate of food and take a pretty good guess of what the macro is going to be and the calories are going to be. What I've been doing over the past few months is I've been aiming to hit around 4 meals. Okay, for me, I need to get around 210 grams of protein, and that's quite difficult to do when you split it up into 3 meals. I'm going to need 70 grams of protein per meal, and sometimes that's just almost impossible to do. So what I would tend to do, I'm usually not big on breakfast when I'm back in Dubai in my good routine, but when I've been traveling, I do have a big breakfast, a big omelette, and that usually fuels me for the entire morning and for the workout itself. After the workout, I'll try to get shaken meat. Most of the places where I train, they do have some protein shakes on offer. If they don't, then I've got my protein supplements with me, which is just going to give me that 40 grams of protein, which is pretty essential when I'm traveling. Then in the afternoon, I usually have a light lunch. This is usually consisting of mostly just protein and vegetables. I could have carbs, but my approach tends to be having a larger meal in the evening, because usually when you go out for dinner, which everybody's doing on holiday, the meals end up being pretty big. You either end up having like a starter or a main course. It's very easily going over 1,000 calories, so I try and maintain lower calorie intake throughout the day so that I can enjoy myself more and be more flexible on an evening time. Now, if I have overeaten on an evening, which has happened a couple of times, what I tend to do is the following day I bring down my calorie intake, and I usually just fast. And I know that because I've had a big meal the night before, high in carbohydrates, when I go and train the next day in the morning, training fasted is usually fine. I have more than enough stored energy and glycogen in my muscles to pretty much keep me going throughout the whole session. I will also try and be as active as possible when I'm on the holiday. So being active, I mean trying to get as many steps in as possible. Now, some of you guys, when you are traveling, you might actually be doing a lot of walking anyway, because you're doing the whole touristy thing. You might be exploring a city, you might be walking around nature, whatever it might be. So that might be okay. But for some people, say for example, if I've had a day where I literally just walk to the beach, I go to a beach club and I lie on a sunbed all day, that's not really being very active. So usually what I tend to do is I'll just literally go onto the beach and I'll go walk along the beach as far as possible, half an hour one way, half an hour back, and then I've just easily got myself 1 hour of walking in, which is burning a couple hundred calories. So where possible, try to walk as much as you can. Now this is a big one, and in fact I'm going to do a separate video entirely devoted to my approach with alcohol and partying, because I think it's very important. But for me this summer I haven't really drank that much, especially when I compare it to previous years. I'm just not into it anymore. The negatives of alcohol far outweigh the positives. So there's only really been a couple of occasions this summer where I have drank quite a bit. The rest of the time I just straight up don't bother. Now for you guys, if you are going to drink, you need to understand that alcohol is obviously full of empty calories. So if you are having, let's say for example, 3 to 4 drinks of alcohol, you're going to be putting away anywhere between 400 and 500 calories, maybe even more than that. So you need to understand that if you're going to be drinking and you want to maintain leanness, then you're going to have to sacrifice calories in the form of food. And this is what I will tend to do. I mean, fortunately for me, when I do drink, I generally just lose my appetite a little bit. So naturally I eat less when I drink, and that is what allows me to maintain my leanness. But I do notice that when I do drink on a regular basis, my size depletes pretty quickly, and so does my strength, and there's a whole host of other negatives associated with that. So if you are going to drink, keep it to low calorie alcoholic beverages, and if you're going to have more than 3 or 4, then you're going to have to just eat less. It's not ideal, but that is something which you're just going to have to do if you want to try and stay lean. Now you may be in a situation where you've gone somewhere, whether it be with the family or whatever it might be, and there literally is no gym available. Okay, maybe there's no gyms in the vicinity, or even if you stay in a hotel, the gym there literally has a treadmill and a friggin' exercise ball. If that's the case, you can still train. You can do body weight stuff with bands. I know it's not fun, I know it's incredibly boring, that's my general thoughts on it, but you're just gonna have to get it done. I have more than enough at-home workouts using your body weight and bands on my app, so if that's something which you'd be interested, I recommend you sign up to that. If you're in a situation where there are no healthy foods available, then this is a little bit more tricky, and this is probably going to be more common, and it's certainly something which I have been faced with this summer. I think the most difficult time for me when it came to sticking to eating healthy food was when I was in Italy. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I had expected it, but it was quite outrageous. I was in Capri, and I couldn't find anywhere to just have like a healthy poke bowl or just some protein and vegetables and rice. There was literally nowhere. So when I'm in a situation like that, and it's lunchtime, there's literally nothing healthy on the menu, I save my calories and I just will either fast or extend my period of not eating and make up for it later on in the evening when I'm actually maybe at a restaurant where I can get some decent food in. And what I would do at the restaurant is I would just literally just order a full sea bass and have it for myself. Or maybe try and order like a full chicken or a massive steak. Sea bass is usually like the best choice. If you get some lean white fish, the fat content is pretty low and the protein content is very high. And if you're having a full friggin' sea bass, you can easily get like 100 grams of protein in, which will make up for that deficit which you're in throughout the day. But I think throughout the summer for me, my biggest struggle wasn't getting the calories in, it was getting my protein intake on point. I think there was definitely many days where I was under on protein. So that's my thoughts on it. You can definitely still maintain your shape when you travel. I've done it. I know countless other people that can do it. It's ultimately down to choices and maintaining discipline, having discipline. But there's been more than enough days this summer where I've not wanted to go to the gym, or where I've wanted to drink, or where I've wanted to have dessert, but I've maintained a strong mindset and I've said no. Because I always think ahead. How am I going to feel after I've had 5 drinks? I'm not going to feel great and I'm going to regret it the next day. How am I going to feel if I have a friggin' 700 calorie cheesecake? I'm going to be happy for about 20 minutes, but afterwards I'm going to regret it. And then when I'm at the beach the next day, I'm going to notice my abs are not as lean. It's just not worth it. So I'm always thinking ahead and I'm maintaining the discipline as much as possible. And there's been days when I've not wanted to go to the gym, particularly in Capri, when the gym was literally the size of a shoebox with no air conditioning, training at 35 degrees with no air. That was absolutely brutal. And it certainly was the most unenjoyable training sessions that I've had this summer, but I still just went and I got it done, and obviously I felt great afterwards. Now, a lot of you may say, well, it's a holiday, just, enjoy a bit of time off, you deserve it. I understand that. It's good to give your body a break, and it's certainly a good opportunity to have a bit of a deload week. But the reason why I stress that it's important to keep up with healthy eating habits and going to the gym is because if you do that, when you come back from your holiday, you can get back into the routine, the good routine, a lot easier than, say, for example, if you went on holiday, you went completely off the rails, you drank a lot, you didn't train at all. Usually what happens is you come back from that holiday, and because, you know, you got the holiday blues, there's no real motivation to go back to the gym again because you don't have a holiday to look forward to. You just don't go to the gym again. And then that 1 week off turns into 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off. And you don't really end up going to the gym again unless you notice that you get really fat or you have another holiday booked. So if you can go on holiday or on your travels and keep up with your training, doesn't have to be every day, but maybe like 3 times a week, and at least try and make some sensible choices when it comes to eating, then you can maintain these good habits, which are not only going to be great for your physique, but they will be for other areas in your life. And then when you come back home after that trip, you'll be able to get back into that solid routine a hell of a lot easier. So that's my thoughts, and that is what I have done and my approach to maintaining my shape and condition as I've been traveling. I honestly can't wait to go back to Dubai and get back to my proper routine, because that's when the training's on point, the nutrition is on point. But I've been good this summer, especially when I consider some of the temptations which I've been faced with on almost a daily basis. So thanks for watching, guys. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and of course make sure you sign up to the Thirst app if you want to have access to some of the best training routines in the game, at-home workouts, gym workouts, female workouts, male workouts, 3, 4, 5 day splits. Get involved.